Picture this. No moon tonight. Clouds thick overhead. You can't see your own hand in front of your face. Not dim. Not kind of dark. Total darkness. Somewhere out there, something snaps a twig. You don't know what it is. You don't know how far away it is. You don't know if it's hunting. This wasn't a horror movie for our ancestors. This was Tuesday. For over 90% of human history, night meant this. No streetlights, no phone glow, no white noise machine drowning out the world. Just you, a handful of people you loved, and a wall of black pressing in from every direction, filled with sounds you couldn't identify and eyes, maybe, watching back. So here's the question that should keep you up at night. How did they not lose their minds? Turns out, they didn't just survive the dark. They built an entire second life inside it. Let's dig in. Section 1. The biology of the dark. Here's the first myth to torch. Ancient humans did not sleep like we do. We treat sleep like a light switch. 8 hours, off, undone. But historians and sleep researchers digging through pre-industrial records keep finding something stranger. Something called biphasic sleep. Students. A first sleep, then an hour or two of quiet wakefulness in the pitch black, then a second sleep before dawn. That gap in the middle wasn't insomnia. It was scheduled. People used it to think, to talk quietly, to have sex, to pray, to just lie there in the dark with their thoughts. Some researchers argue this split sleep pattern might actually be closer to what the human brain naturally wants, before artificial light convinced us to cram everything into one continuous block. And their eyes weren't fighting the dark the way ours do. No blue light frying their melatonin at 11 p.m. Their pupils dilated fully, naturally, tuned to a world where the biggest light source most nights was starlight. Give a modern eye 30 minutes without a screen and it barely believes you. Ancient eyes lived there permanently. Darkness wasn't an inconvenience to route around. It was a setting, one their entire biology had been calibrated to. Section 2. The social glue. Now add fire. We usually talk about fire like it's a kitchen appliance, cooking meat, boiling water, staying warm. But that's not the revolutionary part. The revolutionary part is what fire did to a circle of people sitting around it doing nothing. During the day, humans worked. Foraging, hunting, moving, survival ate the daylight hours whole. There wasn't time to sit and talk about your feelings while a mammoth was still out there needing to be found. But at night, work stopped. The fire created something humans had never really had before: unstructured social time. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner studied modern hunter-gatherer groups and found something telling. Daytime conversation was almost entirely gossip, logistics, complaints, who did what, practical noise. Nighttime conversation around the fire, though, shifted dramatically towards stories, songs, relationships, cosmology, the big questions. The fire didn't just light the group. It reorganized what they talked about. It was the original off-the-clock hangout, and some researchers think this nightly ritual is where complex storytelling, and maybe even the social bonding that let bands of 30 people trust bands of 30 other people, actually got its start. The campfire wasn't a heat source with a bonus feature. The heat was the bonus feature. The real invention was the conversation it made possible. Section 3. The threat assessment. Of course, none of this happened without a cost. Somebody always had to watch the dark. Night watch wasn't optional flavor text in ancient life. It was infrastructure. Someone stayed alert, ears tuned outward, while the rest of the group actually let their guard down enough to sleep. Rotate the shift, spread the exhaustion, keep the group alive till sunrise. This is also probably where your anxiety comes from. Seriously, ever felt your heart rate spike walking to your car in an empty parking lot? That's not a modern glitch. That's inherited wiring. Humans who felt calm in the dark got eaten. Humans who felt jumpy, who treated every rustle as a potential threat until proven otherwise, survived to pass on their jumpy genes. Fear of the dark isn't a phobia. It's a fossil. A working one, still installed, still running in your nervous system right now. And it wasn't irrational fear either. Big predators, cave lions, hyenas, wolves, hunted more efficiently at night than early humans did. In pure sensory terms, humans were not the apex predator once the sun went down. The watch shift existed because the food chain briefly flipped every single night for hundreds of thousands of years. Section 4. The birth of imagination. Here's where it gets beautiful. Take a fire. At a cave wall. Watch what happens to the shadows. Firelight doesn't sit still like a light bulb. It flickers, jumps, throws shapes that stretch and twist across stone. Researchers studying Paleolithic cave art, places like Lascaux and Chauvet, have pointed out something eerie. Many of the painted animals were positioned exactly where natural rock bulges would catch firelight and seem to move. Flickering flame across a painted bison isn't just decoration. It's animation. The bison appears to breathe. Some archaeologists have gone as far as calling this humanity's first cinema. A dark chamber. A single flickering light source. The audience sitting still, watching painted figures seem to shift and run across the walls. Swap cave for theater and firelight for projector, and the pitch is basically the same. This is also almost certainly where mythology took root. Stripped of visual distraction, sitting in a space where imagination had to fill in every gap the dark left blank, the mind reached for explanation. Why does the sun disappear? What happens when we die? What's out there, past the firelight, in the black? Night didn't just permit storytelling, it demanded it. The dark was a question mark, and myth was the answer humans built to keep from staring at the blank. Section 5. The Forbidden Zone. But let's be clear about something. This wasn't a cozy campfire sing-along every night. Darkness had rules, and breaking them could kill you. You didn't wander from camp. You didn't explore. You didn't go looking for whatever made that noise. The edge of the firelight wasn't just where the light stopped. It was a hard border, the literal line between known and defended and unknown and deadly. Cross it, and you left the tribe's protection behind. This is likely why so many ancient cultures, independently, developed taboos around night travel, night hunting alone, or even speaking certain names after dark. It wasn't superstition for superstition's sake. It was a survival rule wrapped in a story, because a story is easier to enforce across a whole community than a lecture on predator statistics. Darkness, in short, wasn't neutral. It was the wall. And everything, the fire, the watch shifts, the myths, existed because of what waited on the other side of it. We solved the dark, flipped a switch, and it was gone. But we may have lost something in that trade. That forced pause, the unstructured hours with nothing to do but talk, wonder, watch shadows move, might have been where human imagination and connection actually took shape. We didn't just survive the night. We were built by it. So next time the power goes out, don't reach for your phone flashlight so fast. Sit in it for a minute. Somewhere in your wiring, something very old remembers exactly what to do with the silence.